Welcome to another episode of Here's Why, brought to you by Why Not Results. I'm Jimmy Talbert. This is my partner, Mario Lizarraga.
Woo! Impressive on the name. Good job.
I always want to say it like Bruce Buffer when he's announcing a fight, you know? Mario Lizarraga! You know, but...
That sounded pretty good. You can do that every time. I like that. I'm all right with that. I'm okay with that.
But welcome to our show. Today we're going to be talking specifically about how to implement lifecycle marketing in your business. And this season, this is the last of 9 episodes in a full season about lifecycle marketing. So if you'd like to refresh on any one of these topics or take a deep dive into one specific topic, go back, look for that episode, and it will definitely be impactful for you. That's why we produce this content.
Open your mind. There's no question about it.
Right. And so just to give you some context, we create these videos for growth-minded entrepreneurs and small businesses, hopefully like yourself. And we encourage and ask you to share this content, comment on this content, hopefully all positive stuff, as you watch it and be engaged. Like I said, we're building a community of growth-minded business owners and entrepreneurs.
And for all you entrepreneurs out there, our goal here is to kind of convey this in a combination of marketing, professional jargon, but also bring it down to layman's term to make it understandable. I'm definitely much along your lines where I have a hard time understanding all of this digital madness. And so it's our goal to help articulate this in a way that isn't just too high level marketing stuff, right? So that's my job, is just to kind of simplify it for us. I don't want to say simple-minded folk, but I'm going to go with us simple-minded marketing folk.
And my job's to get into the weeds a little bit, dive into the strategy, and hopefully help you see how all these things tie together and work together. So before we jump in, let's go ahead and do a quick overview of lifecycle marketing. Let's go ahead and cut to that now. So before we go through the different stages of lifecycle marketing, what I'd like to do is make sure that you're thinking about 2 separate things. I want you to remember that your prospects are people. So I don't care if you call your customers, clients, patients, students, whatever. I don't care if you sell B2B or B2C. At the end of the day, you sell person to person. And it's important to create a narrative, create a story, create a brand that people can relate to, people can associate with. The other thing that I want you to remember is that systems scale relationships and processes scale relationships. So having those systems, having those processes within your business is absolutely critical to your overall success. So let's quickly go through the different stages of lifecycle marketing. So it starts with getting traffic to your business. So this is to your blog, getting traffic to your website, also gaining traction on social media, getting people to engage and interact with you throughout these different platforms and across these different mediums where people may look. Okay, the next stage is converting leads. And so when we look at that, this is getting people to give you some information. In most cases, giving information is in exchange for something of value, and we'll dig in deep on that when we go through the lead, the converting leads video on this series as well. And then the next is the nurturing your prospects, which is your sales process. Whether we're talking about your initial sales process of trying to convert your leads into clients, or your long-term nurture or short-term nurture, things like that. The next stage is converting the clients. This is where the sale happens, making sure that that's a smooth and seamless process so that you don't run into those hiccups so low in the funnel when it ends up costing you a lot of money. Next stage is delivering and wowing, making sure that every client, every customer that you work with has a fantastic experience, wants to be an advocate of your business. If they ever have a conversation with someone about your product or your service, making sure that you're the one that they recommend. And then the next stage here is upsell and cross-sell, which is giving you the ability to actually increase that lifetime customer value of everybody that you work with. And then the last stage is getting referrals and reviews. And I don't even have to tell you how important that is in today's day and age. In the social and digital age, that is absolutely critical to the overall success of your business.
Just can't get enough. Just can't get enough. I could watch that all damn day, over and over and over. Can we just put that on repeat?
Just keep watching it. Well, today what we're going to talk about really dives in even deeper into that, into kind of what you just saw, because we're going to be talking about how to actually execute these things, how to tie it all together, so that you can benefit in your business from these different strategies. Because, like you talked about, sometimes you get your blinders on. And so you find one thing, and I think this is very common with entrepreneurs. They hear about one thing, and they say, all right, I'm going to do that. And they do that, and then they forget about other things. And then they say, okay, and now I'm going to do this. And they do that, and they stop doing this other thing, or they don't see how they can work together, how they can tie it together. And that's one thing that...
There's no question.
Like I said, it happens all the time. That's one thing that I think was impactful for you when we met originally. To see how a lot of pieces of content that you create can be repurposed multiple times and can be continuously used, and how it all ties together throughout that prospect and customer journey.
Well, and I think getting a realistic sense of the timing of how it all comes together. Mm-hmm. You know, we can be a little out of sorts. Most business owners that I talk to, they want to spend a few $1,000s now, and they want results now.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
And you know, which is really intriguing to me, because, you know, they go in starting off with their business concept thinking long before they even make a single purchase. Mm-hmm. And then they spend a lot of money up front getting all the infrastructure in place. And then they spend a lot of time training before they even open the doors. Mm-hmm. Right? And then they spend a lot of time before they really see a profit out of that without any marketing. But as business owners, we tend to want the marketing and expect the marketing just to kick in right away, and it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, our goal, and my goal historically, as I've consulted thousands of businesses, is on their marketing strategy, is to obviously get the results as quick as possible. And the way that you do that is by having a holistic picture of what you want to accomplish, and then understanding how the work, how things complement each other with your voice and your brand. Now, we're going to walk through this. If you would like to have a one-on-one consultation of your business, dive into your customer life cycle, your ideal client or your ideal customer, there's a link in the description here. Go ahead and click on that, fill it out, and you'll connect with either one of us or someone from our team who will be able to break down your perfect customer life cycle, break down your ideal customer profile, or ideal client profile, and what's important to them, what makes them move, and what's impactful to them. So let's go ahead and dive into some of this stuff. And what I'd encourage you, if you have any thoughts, anything, just stop me, and let's keep this very conversational.
Okay.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds fantastic.
All right. So as we see over here, we've got our lifecycle marketing, and then below it, I've got our different bodies of work, you could say, or different things that need to happen. And so, if we start over here on the left, we've got our different traffic sources. Now, one thing that I can't stress enough in today's day and age, especially with small businesses, is the importance of consistently utilizing social media and utilizing these different aspects of social media and always putting content out there. They say you should be posting 10 to 20 pieces of content in different places every day as a business.
And just not to overwhelm all you business owners out there who are hearing that statement,
that can be scary.
Because it's terrifying to me. in all reality, that whole notion there, as we've gone through in prior episodes, there's a lot of different pieces that can be utilized and repurposed. So it's not that you have to make a completely brand new piece every time.
No, yeah.
You just need a lot of core pieces, a handful of core pieces, not even a lot, that you can repurpose over and over and over, cut and sliver and dice, and throw it out there and sprinkle in all aspects of your marketing, including social media. So folks, don't get caught up that you have to create a brand new piece every time, and we can show you about that.
Because whether it's social media or Google or
your website,
whatever,
your email marketing,
whatever it is, these are all machines, right? The digital world is all machines, and it's a matter of training that machine to operate a certain way, and then having the content to train your audience.
Could we even say they're all cogs in the machine?
Way.
Could we even say that
each one absolutely say that?
They're all really cogs, and they all kind of help turn each other, which ultimately turns the big master crank.
Right. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Okay.
And so consistently posting out there on social media, it helps you get traffic, helps you build that awareness, helps people understand who you are. Okay. There is always an element of paid traffic, and I always say paid traffic is kind of like a drug, right?
Oh boy.
And that's why you have to feed the organic machine as well, because you got to train that, because that'll be there much longer. The paid stuff is all that has to happen is one small small thing in one change to someone's algorithm, or not someone's algorithm, someone's pricing, and your cost for acquiring leads or your cost for getting exposure might go way
Triple,
up,
yeah.
and your cost to acquire a customer is going to go way up. And so then it's a matter of having those things out there, and then having powerful lead magnets. And we've talked, when we talk about capturing leads in the earlier episode, having something powerful there that is a low barrier of entry and has a very high perceived value. Apologize for stuttering a little bit there. But it has a high perceived value. And what I always recommend is that people do progressive lead capture. So what I mean by that is asking for very little information initially, doing name and email, very simple things like that. On social media, liking a page, following a channel, those can also be thought of as even a little bit higher in the funnel in that aspect. And then it's a matter of having consistent value that progresses your relationship with those leads, so that then you can capture more information. Maybe you need their phone number, but you don't ask for it right away, right? Just like if you walk up to someone, it's like if you were dating. We use the analogy a lot. If you were dating, you don't walk up to someone, a pretty girl, and ask her to marry you. You may not also walk up to her.
I do all the time. all the time. Very few have said yes. Only one.
Yeah, so it hasn't worked super well for you so far.
No, not a good theory.
But the other is you wouldn't even in most cases just walk up and ask for the date right away, right? You start with something, ask their name, talk to them a little bit, get to know. That's what you're doing in that initial phase of your prospecting customer journey, and then being able to consistently provide value, being able to then have those social mediums and that other place reinforce that value, because you can't just rely on email, you can't just rely on text, you can't just rely on whatever, right? It's having all those things work together.
Every spoke in the wheel.
And follow up and make sure that your messaging is timely, targeted, relevant, and personalized, because what are you doing? Building relationships. You're educating them to trust you so that you can convert them eventually into someone who's paying your business money.
A client.
That's right.
Client, student, whatever you call it. Whatever you want to call it.
That's right. And so what we've got here is then, there's conversion techniques and stuff, and hopefully you're converting people initially. But when you don't, so if someone says no, right, having that other nurture, so sometimes people call it a long-term nurture, or your list or whatever. These are people who said no once. These are the other 90 people that we referred to in the first video, right? Mm-hmm. Or 95.
People that fell off, for whatever reason.
People who didn't work.
The people that I'm terrible about following up with as a business owner.
Right.
I tend to focus on the guys who are paying me now, and I completely lose sight of those guys who just said no at first.
That's right. And then there's two elements to that sort of follow-up. One, is education, right? Educate them, because obviously they didn't learn something along the way, or maybe just that buying window wasn't open. The other is just being in the right place at the right time. And that means consistent follow-up. That means consistency. And what makes people answer your calls or watch your videos or open your emails or read your texts is providing value leading up to that, right? It's a matter of that consistent strategy of reciprocity within your sales and marketing funnel. And then as people engage, right, then it's a matter of having actual re-engagement strategies. And these strategies or these campaigns or these, whatever, are oftentimes look very similar to what you did over here, your lead magnets, right? Because what we're doing is we're trying to get them to re-engage in something so that they get back into that sales process again, right? And so what we want to do is then get them back into the sales process. Hopefully they purchase. If they don't, that's a loop that someone might go through 3 or 4 times before they finally pay you any money, right?
Yeah.
And realistically, if they fall off in there somewhere, some will. Not everyone's going to buy from you.
And quite frankly, that's part of the cycle where most business owners, I would say, let money just go out the door and don't ever have it come back. And that's an easy fix. There's systems that you can put in place to automate that process.
Absolutely.
That still make you look good, still give you those touch points.
And how do you always have relevant content? Because you're always creating and developing content that you're posting. Then you can repurpose it in your nurtures. Then you can it's a matter of reusing so much of the same content, but using it in different places and different aspects of it to make sure it's relevant.
And we've really found really easy ways to create a lot of great engaging content.
That's right.
That's very simple and affordable. It's not always getting your phone out and making a duck face on a selfie. That's not what it's about, Jimmy.
Well, and to give you an example, one of these videos, so one of these episodes, like today's, we'll be able to pull somewhere between 15 and 25 separate pieces of content.
That's right.
Out of one. And it's that method of being able to do that is fantastic. Some of those will be videos, other videos, smaller, shorter videos as well, but some will be a podcast, a blog post associated with it. It'll be quotes from it that we'll post on our social media channels. There's going to be videos that then we can use and different things we can use in our emails, lines, directing people to the blog. I mean, there's so much that you're able to utilize from a single piece of content. We love video because, well, one, we're in a video studio, but we also love it because the engagement level on video is so much higher than just about anything else.
And let's be honest, people buy people. They don't necessarily buy the product. I mean, sure, they need the product, but they're going to choose to get the product from someone or the other. So ultimately, their buying decision comes to who they can relate with, who's educating them, and how else. I mean, when you're writing a message, can you really get to know the person behind the message? Did they even write that message? When you see us in video, you know who you're dealing with. You're getting to know that as a person.
Right.
And so video is it's so much more compelling and engaging.
You're absolutely right. And then it's a matter of then once they are a client, again, being able to provide that wow factor. If you're looking for different ways to deliver and wow and delight your clients, go back, watch the video, the episode that we created on Deliver and Wow. It's part of this season, and we go through some different strategies to help you do that, to help you, provide a great experience for people. And then being able to create upsells, cross-sells, get referrals, and reviews. And again, in the digital world, it's absolutely critical that you are getting your happy customers to promote you, right? Turning people who just had a good experience to those promoters. And that's a matter of, continuous follow-up, whether over multiple mediums. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in today, there's not just one medium that is bulletproof, right? It's back in 2001, 2, 3, 4, right? If you had an email autoresponder, well, you were kind of set, right? But it's not that way anymore. And you have to be able to position yourself in over several different channels because that's how people absorb information. I don't believe that there's many people that are reading white papers anymore, right? They watch videos, they listen to podcasts, they absorb information and take information in completely different over completely different mediums And I'm sure in another 10 years, it will be, it'll be
gonna
different
evolve.
as well.
I think
things
people
will continue to evolve.
I think people lose sight of the fact that this little guy's only been around since 2011. Right?
Yeah.
That iPhones are
absolutely.
so new. I mean, we're less than 10 years old on this.
Yeah.
Right? When it comes
Right.
to, is it 2011 or 2007? It's one of the two.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's
I didn't
2011.
have one then.
But I know,
Yeah, I know
even,
that.
even if it, let's suppose and go back up a little bit to 2007, that's still only 12, 13 years ago.
Right. Exactly.
So it is the wild, wild west.
Right.
Right? So no wonder that we're lost. And those of us who are post 40, who didn't grow up with technology in our everyday lives, it's kind of a scary thing for us. And speaking for myself at least, and most of my buddies, we just really haven't embraced it. And the reality is, if you've noticed, a lot of these millennials have embraced it. And if you notice, there's a lot of young people that are crushing it, making millions of dollars. And because
Absolutely.
they are leveraging the power of technology, they're leveraging video through all of their mediums, just like you just described, the emails, the social side, their website, everywhere it has this. And a lot of us have yet to embrace that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and it can be difficult to start with because it you know you're well, and not only is it uncomfortable, you don't know what you don't know, and if you're not someone who absolutely loves posting on social media and everything, which I'll put myself in that category. Social media is not my favorite thing in the world, but I understand how to leverage it effectively to grow a business and to get a message out there for your business. And you know what? When something else comes along, I'll probably leverage that as well, and I'll be happy to walk away from social media as well.
Well, and
if that becomes irrelevant at some point.
And to your point on this, part of, we're still going to encourage you to subscribe and follow in on all of these, because as things do evolve, you can bet that we're going to bring on experts who are focusing on those very areas and see how they intertwine and engage with our existing platforms and where we need to be focusing on for the future.
You're absolutely right.
This is not stopping here. It's going to continue to evolve, and where it goes, nobody knows. There's not a single person out there, including Mark Zuckerberg, if you heard me, call me out. You don't know for sure even, buddy, but guaranteed. You have to be a Mark Zuckerberg to be on that forefront of where technology is going.
Right.
And even you ask him, guaranteed he can't definitively tell you exactly where it's going.
No.
Right? But guaranteed, I can bet your butt, he is probably diversifying his strategy, so no matter what direction it ends up going, he's right there ahead of the curve.
Right.
Even if he's creating it. you know?
Well, what I'd encourage you to do is go down in the description, click the link, like I said, fill it out, request a one-to-one consultation. We're going to break down your perfect customer lifecycle, your brand, your ideal customer, and be able to break that down and give you some real targeted advice on things that you can do. Whether you decide to work with us or not is kind of up to both of us, I guess.
Right.
And so we're gonna be able to break that down, and it's so impactful to have someone else look at these different aspects of your business. So with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. This is the last episode of our Lifecycle Marketing season. Thank you so much for joining today, and I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and wish you nothing but the best with your business. Take care.
Cheers.